Well, listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate.
All right. This is when things get insane, so hold on tight. When you have nothing significant to say, what do? I mean it when I say that you babble. Everyone is forced to pay attention to an endless stream of meaningless words. Let's discuss the viewpoint, though, especially the women who appear to be so cut off from the typical American that they might want to consider obtaining their news from sources other than their own echo chamber.
Really been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous one.
Karoline Leavitt took the stage, and everything changed. It started off on The View like any other day, with smug smiles, eye rolls, and a panel of heads nodding in perfect harmony, all dancing to the rhythm of their left-wing agenda. For years, Goldberg has dominated the show like royalty, interrupting guests in the middle of their sentences, ignoring competing viewpoints, and promoting her personal beliefs as if they were infallible.
I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for. I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
A Whoopi feeling. As usual, invincible, opened with a shot that pointed to Karoline and said, "Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job." The audience fell silent. The tension seemed to be getting worse. After that brief jab spoiler alert, she thought she was going to be ecstatic. But let's face it, Whoopi's subsequent remarks were both expected and frustrating. I assume you've heard this a million times already. Joy Behar, a woman whose job it is to ridicule conservatives, shifted uncomfortably in her Whoopi and chair. I'm right. The saddest part is that she really likes you, but you're not the proper tone. Instead of flinching or rushing to come up with a clever counterattack, Karoline smiled, but it was a calm, knowing smile. After remarking, "You just made a huge mistake," she altered the script. "It's going to get much more interesting, so please like and subscribe if you're enjoying this showdown." Rather than merely making weak counter-arguments, Karoline offered concrete, unquestionable facts. Government expenditure reports. There are some things you simply cannot disagree with, no matter how hard you try.
Even afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you know who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more of the same of, it's all, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderators are probably biased and they're prejudiced against.
She started by presenting the data that showed how taxpayer money was being spent in Guatemala to support absurdly progressive programs, like gender studies. Through Sesame Street, American action is being pushed around the world. No. You precisely name it like a surgeon. Karoline realized that wokeness had evolved from a social movement to a political instrument that was used to silence those who dared to oppose it. Whoopi was laughing no more. The atmosphere had shifted entirely. Whoopi Goldberg seemed defensive for the first time. The woman who had earned her life by killing people was suddenly having trouble expressing herself, desperate to regain control. She shifted in her seat, but it was too late.
Invasive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world.
Even the camera crew seemed unsure about whether to cut to commercial and hope no one saw, or to zoom in on Whoopi's astonished face. Whoopi opened her mouth and then closed it, but nothing happened since Karoline wouldn't let her off the hook. Usually the audience cheers for Whoopi so quickly that they sit in awkward quiet. Karoline exposed a glaring hypocrisy. Why do conservative women receive the most attacks if wokeness is supposed to be about inclusivity and diversity? There was more at stake here than a simple argument over wokeness.
We have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and all of this other BS.
Why do proponents of tolerance turn violent when they encounter someone who disagrees with them? The tension-filled silence continued in a desperate attempt to recover because the person was clearly trapped and lacked a clever response. Joy Behar tried to lighten the mood with a weak joke, but it was obvious that the damage had been done. Whoopi had completely fallen apart in front of millions of people.
Listen, if you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say.
And wait, if you believe Whoopi had a tough period during that time. Reaction videos, memes, and analysis were all over the internet. But Whoopi had previously come under fire for her tone-deaf comments about the Holocaust and her odd defenses of controversial figures. Whoopi has been involved in a number of scandals, but this one stood out. Things start to get strange at this point. The View has been the target of a series of defamation lawsuits from Carrie Underwood, Elon Musk, and now Karoline Leavitt, and each one is growing worse than the last.
Talk at you, not to you, and that's what she was doing, and she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
And we are anticipating that you are not prepared. Because you keep saying you going and you preparing when you're on the train.
ABC has suffered significant financial losses as a result of Whoopi's uncontrolled comments. And worse, she was unable to shift the blame elsewhere this time. Let's think about Carrie Underwood for a second. The panel lambasted her when she appeared at Trump's second inauguration, making fun of her performance and trying to ruin her career. Carrie, however, didn't take it lying down. She sued The View for defamation, bringing a billion-dollar case. ABC had orchestrated the entire smear campaign to boost ratings, according to some startling disclosures that came to light when the case went to trial. Deliberate drama, you read correctly. The question of whether The View was still worth the difficulty arose after ABC officials were compelled to make a compromise after the truth was exposed.
This program yesterday, Joy Behar stirring the pot of controversy after saying this about Karoline.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Do you want to take this?
No, you cannot be attractive and smart. I will try to give Joy the benefit, and oh, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
The websites of Whoopi and the host targeted Elon Musk, spreading false claims about Twitter that he controlled. Musk didn't tolerate that either. He brought a lawsuit, and the world went into crisis mode again. Ratings dropped, advertisers pulled their advertising, and the gap in the public perception grew. Today is the day that Whoopi's time on the show came to an end. Karoline's confrontation.
Yeah, I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
Even though ABC tried to make it seem like a break for Whoopi, it was clear that she had been let go. As viewers started to question if the show could go on without Whoopi, the network was in full damage control mode. The program is currently at a turning point. Will they eventually alter their direction, or will they bring in someone like Whoopi to keep things as they are? Remember that this is just the beginning, and share your thoughts in the comments section.